All right, following our quiz, we're into section 1.3, day 1, where we're going to introduce the 5-number summary. And we'll start with definitions. The range is a measure of how spread out the data is. And then there are quartiles. We can divide the data into quarters, and there are 3 quartiles. There is the first quartile, is just larger than 25% of the data. The second quartile, I'm going to abbreviate that as quart. The second quartile is just larger than 50% of the data, so that's the median, right in the middle of it. And then the third quartile is just larger than 75%. Okay, with this comes an interquartile range. We'll call that IQR. This is the measure of the spread of the middle 50% of the data. And we use this to determine what data points are outliers. You may have heard of these words before. It might have been a while, but we're going to review it today. Right, and then the IQR, or the interquartile range, is the third quartile minus the first quartile. An outlier is 1.5 times the IQR above the third quartile or below the first quartile. So the formula will be any number that is less than quartile 1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, or any number greater than the third quartile plus 1.5 times the IQR. So that IQR is kind of important. It comes up twice when we're looking for outliers. And the 5-number summary is just a description of the distribution by giving the lowest value, highest value, and the 3 quartiles. These 5 values, they give a reasonable, complete description of the center and the spread of the data. So here are the steps on finding the quartiles. First, we must list the data from smallest to largest and find the median, which we've done before. And then to find the first quartile, we find the median of what's left of the second quartile. To find the third quartile, we find the median of what's to the right. So let's go through this example right here. So let's first put this in order. So the smallest number is 3. And then we have 13. After 13 is 21. And then 27. 29. 36. 42. Another 42. Put them both down. We have 48. And another 48. And a 49 and a 59, it looks like. 48, 48, 49, and 59. Okay, so we put our numbers down. And let's start by finding the median. I'm going to get the highlighter out. So I want to find the median. I'm going to count in from both ends. So I'm going to count down the 3 biggest. So 1, 2, 3 from the right. 1, 2, 3 from the left. Okay, I'm going to go 2 more then. So it looks like as we go to the middle here, it's going to be somewhere in between 36 and 42. That's where the median is going to be. So our median is going to be directly between those 2 numbers. So to find it, I'm going to call the median Q2, quartile 2. It's 36 plus 42 divided by 2. 36 plus 42 is 78. 78 divided by 2 is 39. So The second quartile is 39. Okay, now what we're going to do is focus only on the left side of the quartile, of the median. So I'm going to take my highlighter again. I'm going to count to the middle. So count from each end. Cross out the next number. And now we're left with two numbers, right? We're left in between 21 and 27, right? Because we cross these off, it'd be directly in between there. So, oops, let me do this. The first quartile is between 21 and 27, so Q1 is 21 plus 27 divided by 2. We will get 24. All right, and then to find, let's go with blue. To find the third quartile, we have to go to the right of the median. And I'm going to cross off numbers, so count to the middle, 42, 59, cross off, 42, 49. And it looks like, as we cross off, we're gonna get to right here. It's in between, right in the middle of those 6 numbers. What's between 48 and 48? Oh, just 48. So Q3 is 48. So quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3. So start with the median, and then do the same thing to each side of the data. Example 2 says find the 5-number summary from the football scores in example 1. So what we do know is that the smallest number, the minimum, is 3. Okay, that's the smallest number from above. The maximum is 59. Okay, the median, or Q2, is 39. The first quartile, Q1, is 24. And the third quartile, Q3, is 48. So the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. Those are the 5 numbers we look for. And that's our 5-number summary. Example 3 says find the interquartile range from the example above. So the IQR is Q3 minus Q1. Again, let me zoom in. This is Q3 minus Q1. So 48 minus 24. The IQR is 24. That looks like a 9. 24. So that's the IQR. Now to find the outliers. This is any number that's less than Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. All right, so Q1 was 24, and the IQR was 24. So what is 24 minus 1.5 times 24 is 36. What is 24 minus 36? Negative 12. So any number less than negative 12. If I scroll up, are there any numbers in this list up here? The blue numbers that are less than negative 12? No. So there's no outliers that are less than the first quartile. So now we have to go and do any number greater than the third quartile plus 1.5 times the IQR. So the third quartile is 48. The IQR was 24. So what is 48 plus 1.5 times 24. It'd be 48 plus 36. So 48 plus 36 is 84. So any number greater than 84. So is there any number less than negative 12? No. Was there any number up here greater than 84? No, because the max was 59. So nothing is bigger than 84 and nothing is less than negative 12. So are there any outliers? No. And that's how we check. All right, and then the last checkpoint we'll do together, just to give you one more example. It says find the file number summary and then any outliers if there are any. So let's list these numbers in order from least to greatest. So it looks like we have 2 zeros. So 0, 0, 14 and then 20. 14, 20, 27, 35, 27 and 35, 41 and 42, another 42, and then 60 and 61. All right, so let's find the median or the middle. So if we count to the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the median is 35. This is Q2. Now to the left of that, let's find the middle. So it'll be 1, 2, 1, 2. Directly in the middle over here is 14. This is Q1. And then count on the right side, 1, 2, 1, 2. Directly in the middle over here is 42. That's Q3. So the minimum is 0. Q1 is 14. Q2 is 35. Q3 is 42. And the max, or the biggest one, is 61. So this is the 5-number summary. And now let's find any outliers over here. So any number less than Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. So I guess let's find the IQR. IQR is 42 minus 14. So the IQR is 28. So outliers would be any number that is 14 minus 1.5 times 28. It'll be 14 minus 1.5 times 28 is 42. So it'd be a number that is less than 14 minus 42 is negative 28. Are there any numbers in the list above, up here? Any numbers that are less than negative 28? There are none. Then we gotta check, are there any numbers bigger than Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR? So Q3 is 42. So 42 plus 1.5 times 28. So 42 plus 1.5 times 28 is 84. Are there any numbers greater than 84? There are none, because the biggest number is 61. So are there outliers? No, there are none. So we can just put on here no outliers. Okay. Now let's just say the biggest number was like 100. Then you would say 100 is an outlier because 100 is bigger than 84. That's how those outliers work.